Okay, y'all, this is a hard video to make. Today is June 19th, and I buried my mother on the 15th. And it's really, really hard to go on as if the world hasn't stopped for me. When you make videos and you put them up on the internet and you share them with the world, you have to really think about how much and what you choose to share. Because it's not just your life, it's not just your privacy that you're worrying about or that you're thinking of. And so for the last few months, I've been going through this really tough time. And you've probably caught bits and pieces of it. You know, I've let little things slip here and there. But I didn't really go into much detail about it because my mother was a very private person. She wasn't the type to put herself out there on the internet in the same way that I do. But I'm choosing to talk about this now because honestly, it's one of the only things I can think of. I try to distract myself with the daily routine and the daily chores. But let me tell you, when I say that it's hard to watch the world move on around me and act as if it's just another normal Monday, that's rough because it's not just another normal Monday. At least not for me. And I know that no one really cares. If you've ever lost a parent, you know how hard this is. And one of the ways that I feel at peace is I just go in my garden. Every time I want to cry, just go in my garden. I lay down some mulch, or I bury a plant. And I just cry it out. And then I start to feel a little bit better, temporarily. So, my garden is basically acting as a salve for a heart that'll never be the same again. It'll never be fully mended. This is a natural part of life. We did see it coming. It didn't come out of the blue. That doesn't make it any less hard. And no matter how much you cry and grieve while it's going on, it doesn't lessen the grief that you feel when the time actually comes. It's just been a hard few months. Making this video is just part of my process. I think one day I'm going to look back, and as hard as it is right now, I think I'm going to look back and be glad that I kept going when all I really want to do is quit. All I really want to do is go lay down in bed and just forget about everything. Oh, this is part of my process. And so today, I'm going to just kind of show you a few of the things that I've been working on during this time of grief. And it's not much, because I'm telling you what, sometimes I only have 5 or 10 minutes to give. But those 5 or 10 minutes truly make me feel better. I'm just real exhausted. Mentally, emotionally, physically. I've been traveling a lot in the last couple months. Well, at least a lot for me. And it's all just wearing me down. But my garden does give me energy and motivation. It gives me motivation to get up and to get out and to get some sunshine on my skin, because trust me, I need the vitamin D right now. Okay. I want to show you some things that I've been working on. I just want to say I'm sitting here in front of my greenhouse. And my mom gifted me this greenhouse. So I'm naming her Donna Jean. That was my mom's name. And we're going to grow many, many beautiful plants together. All right, let's go. In the spirit of keeping myself busy, let me just show you a couple of things I've been working on out here. The first thing is this little bed that's in the front of my driveway. I've been working on getting it weeded. Last little section, you may have seen that I had a mask on, and the reason I did that is because I was moving hay that had been in the weather, so it was molded in the first couple inches, and to keep myself from breathing in all those spores, I put on a mask. I also hosed myself down on my legs and my arms before I took my mask off, because there was a lot of dust on my legs and my arms. It's just something I like to do so I don't breathe all that in. It can be detrimental to your health, so maybe look into that. The reason I put hay on those beds is to help suppress weed and to also add more organic matter back to that. So those will help suppress all those weeds I just pulled, and then as the season goes on and it gets rain, that hay will start to break down and feed the soil. Towards the end of the season, we may even put a layer of wood chips over top of it. That's the way I like to do it, but now that I've got that hay down, it's not as necessary, so at some point we'll probably top that off with some wood chips. The next thing that might not be so obvious is I've been working on, all my plants were here, and I've been working on getting them sorted. So all of these things over here are like house plants, or things that will have to go in the winter time. This right here is where I've been dumping all my soil. That's trash. All the stuff up here on this top are things that still need to go in the ground. And then these pots over here are things that just need babied, that I recently potted up that were struggling due to neglect, or they need to just be a little bit bigger before I plant them out. They're not quite big enough to be planted out yet. So that's what those things are. They just need a little bit more babying, a little bit more care, and I've got those lined up over there so they're all condensed together instead of like before they were all spread out. Before they were all kind of spread out randomly in this little area. So I've kind of been working on getting that cleaned. So that's one thing. I didn't get any of this on camera, but I did spend the last 2 days fertilizing all of my tomatoes and beds that I've planted with some fish fertilizer. We haven't had rain in, I'm wanting to say, a month or more. It's supposed to rain possibly this evening and tomorrow. It's desperately needed. It's abnormally dry here. So I spent the time getting them fertilized before this rain comes in, and that's why I spent time up potting all those house plants and topping them off with some compost, so that way when it rains all that can soak in. Everything got a good fertilization, and also topped off with compost for most of them. Alright, I'm going to stop this here for now. I may end the video here, or I may pick the camera back up because I may need something else to do. And sometimes routine is what I need to just not feel like what's the point. Alright, I will see you in a few. And if not, I'm sure I'll be back to end this video. So the first thing I've been working on, and you can tell I've still got more to go, is I'm getting hay down as mulch on these beds here, because it's easier to move as far as weight's concerned than the wood chips, and I have a couple of big old bales, and it adds organic matter that breaks down quickly compared to wood chips. So for now, we're mulching most of the things with the hay, and either later on this season or next year, we will top them off with wood chips as well. This bed I'm standing in front of actually here, that's around this little runoff pond, that's what we did here a few years ago. We put down hay, and then we covered that hay with mulch by the end of the season, and it has broken down really nicely and is starting to make some really nice soil here. So that's what we're going to continue to do. I mean, we do put other things down like compost tea. I've put mushroom compost, you know, like I just add whatever I have and use whatever I have at the time. And if I see it lacking something, I'll go get that specifically and amend it. But otherwise, I kind of just let everything break down and do their thing. I've also done this area here. And next, what I'm going to do is just continue with the hay there, and then do this side. So most of this stuff I've just been weeding, and then I'll go back and put the mulch on. I've just been doing small little sections. It's all I can handle right now. But with those small little sections, it's progress, so I'm really happy about that. I have my greenhouse here, and I have my strawberries there, and a couple little heucheras or coral bells. And over here in this area, I have all these are just the orange daylilies, and we're in the process of digging them up. And yes, I know, it'll be years before all the roots are actually out of here. But I put this little plant here. I will put the name of it. I don't know how to pronounce it. And I've got this black elephant ear that will also go in the ground here. But we're going to remove all these daylilies to give these hostas some room to breathe. And also I've got some perennials up in the field that I think I'm going to move to this area. I just wanted to show you these purple bellflowers in bloom. And this is the first year that I've ever seen these in real life, and they look so fake. Like in real life, they're so beautiful. They just kind of look like they couldn't possibly be real. So they're really cool. These are one of the plants that I got on at Lowe's on clearance for maybe $1 last year. So really look into those perennials if you can find them and pick them up. This is a winter sown jug, and I just want to show you, I'm very excited because I have pawpaw seeds sprouting. Do you see those? There's 2 of them there. I think I planted 3 altogether, but right now I only see 2 out of 3. But they are very slow to germinate, so there's still a chance it could be in there doing its thing, trying to break the surface. So we'll keep an eye on those as those grow. That's really exciting to me. So we're going down to my bottom field. I just wanted to show you that my stilbees over here are starting to bloom. This right here is another bed we're wanting to get mulch and hay put down. But it's a little bit lower on the priority list, to be quite honest. I have other things that I want to get done first. These have been weeded a bit, but they are looking quite beautiful. So this bed here, I pulled all the brassicas that had bolted and I weeded it. And I went and bought some cucumbers. We went to nursery the other day and I got some cucumber starts because all my starts failed to germinate. So I've got 2 here. I've also got 2 in my top field. Let's stop that. So I've got 2 of these white cucumbers here. These right here are my hot peppers that are starting to take off. We'll see, they're still looking a little puny. And then I got some pepper starts when I was at the nursery as well. And these 4 are just sweet banana. And these 4 are King Arthur. These right here are brassicas that haven't bolted yet, and while I know they most likely will bolt, I'm just going to keep them in the ground until they do. Right here are my onions, and considering that these are way behind, they're a lot bigger than I expected them to be. And that's where I planted that corn. I really don't remember if I've shown that on a video yet or not. But I had this corn I need to get in the ground. And this is the glass gem corn. And so I just plopped it in this bed because this bed was ready to go. Another thing I've been working on is I had some extra marigolds, so I plopped them in there. And this part of the bed here is where I put any of my dahlias I grew from seed and any of the plants that I have to dig up to store. And they are just now starting to poke through. And honestly, I won't be able to tell you what they are until they start to flower or a little bit further along. But I do have, these are getting eaten. Like this right here, that's a dahlia seedling. It got eaten back. I just need to surround this down here, and given everything that's been going on in my life, I just haven't had time. I spent yesterday, me and the hubby spent yesterday weeding this garden here, and these are all Lisianthus. Some of them are more stunted. Let me show you. Because they were buried in weeds, so hopefully those will take off. I have some dianthus, carnation there on the end, as well as a few snapdragons. This right here is some more Lisianthus in various stages of growing, depending on how covered they were with weeds. Some alyssum. And I have ranunculus blooming. And some sweet William. I will have to honestly look up and see what variety this is. And I do have petal damage because I haven't had this weeded. So there has been plenty of bugs down here. I've got some more some more dianthus getting ready to bloom. So the goal is to get some hay down here and some hay on this bed. I do want to come on here and show you the last couple of perennials that my mom bought for me that I got planted. And one of them is the sedum. honestly, she got me this sedum, and it is called Lime Twister Sedum, and it is hardy in my zone. She also bought me this oregano here because I didn't have any oregano for my herb garden, so she got me that. She got me these tomatoes that are called West Virginia 17, and I will be saving seeds from those. She also got me this elephant ear called Coal Miner, and I will have to dig this up every year. Those are the last plants she'll ever buy me. I just wanted it documented. And since they're perennial, I hope I have them or their offspring for a really, really long time. I don't understand though, if you know it's coming and it happens to everybody, why does it hurt so bad and why is it so hard? Okay, I just wanted to document those guys. In times of grief, it's definitely good to be thankful for the small things, and it hasn't rained here in almost a month. So this right here is truly appreciated and needed. Now, even the littlest blessings feel huge. Sometimes you just need something to hold on to, and for me today it's the rain.